Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am making one of my t-shirt crossbody bags from start to finish, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to share how these bags actually came about. When I first started sewing, I mainly made fabric clutches. That's really what people knew me for. I enjoyed making them, but after making the same style over and over and over again, I started feeling like I wanted to challenge myself and try something different. One day, I was scrolling on social media and came across a creator who was cutting up t-shirts and sewing them onto denim jeans. I thought it was such a creative idea and I absolutely loved it. And immediately I started thinking, what if I did that on a bag? So I went to Five Below, found some t-shirts that I really liked, brought them home, cut them up, paired them with denim and started experimenting. And honestly, the first bag taught me a lot. I quickly realized that t-shirt material stretches. On my first attempt, I wasn't using any stabilizer, and because of that, the fabric moved around more than I wanted. That's when I discovered Craft Fuse 808. Once I started applying it to the back of the t-shirt pieces, everything changed. It gave the fabric more stability and made the process so much easier. Ever since then, that's become part of how I make my t-shirt bags, and that's when I discovered Craft Fuse 808. The only challenge is that finding t-shirts I love isn't always easy. I know a lot of people enjoy thrifting, but personally, I prefer working with new shirts. So sometimes I'm limited by whatever designs I can find. Because I couldn't find the type of t-shirts that I wanted, I started experimenting again. That's when I discovered patchwork and the patches. I started taking different fabrics, cutting them up into pieces, layering them together, and seeing what happened. Then I started adding patches. I worked with patches on and off over the years, but recently I've really been having fun with them. I went online and started collecting different patches with different themes and styles, and before I knew it, I was creating bags that felt completely different from anything I've had before. At the same time that I was making t-shirt bags, I was also exploring patchwork and patches, and honestly, those two things made me fall in love with bag making again. Before that, I was mostly making fabric clutches, and while there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, for me personally, it started to get repetitive. Trying something new brought back the excitement. And I think one mistake I made was trying to fit it into what I thought would sell instead of creating what I actually felt. I started putting the pressure on me of creating what I thought would sell instead of creating what my heart wanted. When that happened, I slowly started losing my excitement. Sewing started feeling more like pressure and less like creativity. I was constantly thinking about sales, numbers, and whether people would like what I was making. And I realized something. When you're creating from pressure, eventually you stop enjoying the thing that made you happy in the first place. Once I gave myself permission to experiment again, my creativity started growing. I stopped worrying so much about making the perfect product and started asking myself one simple question: do I love this? Because at the end of the day, I have to enjoy what I'm creating. I think sometimes we convince ourselves that we've lost our creativity when in reality, maybe we're just bored. Maybe we've outgrown what we're doing, and maybe we just need permission to try something new. Sewing has taught me that creativity isn't something you lose. Sometimes it just evolves. Another lesson sewing has taught me is patience. Not every project goes smoothly. Sometimes things become frustrating, and I've learned that it's okay to step away. You don't have to force yourself to finish something when you're overwhelmed. Sometimes taking a break and coming back later is exactly what you need. And for the final lesson sewing has taught me is that don't go fabric shopping with ADHD, because the dopamine rush is real. When I first started sewing, I bought way more fabric than I could realistically use. I accumulated so much that eventually I had to donate them. And because of that, there's no way I could sew through all of it. Now I try to be much more intentional about what I bring into my sewing room. I'd love to know if you've experienced something similar. Have you ever fallen out of love with your hobby and then rediscovered it in a new way? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching me bring this bag to life. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Bye.